I'm always happy to see more titles get released on Blu-ray, so the fact that 3 out of this month's 4 sitcom television releases are on Blu-ray is pretty good news as far as I'm concerned. The first one, of course, is The Big Bang Theory, the complete third season, which is not only one of my favorite comedies on TV, but has actually, and somewhat surprisingly, become one of the most successful television shows on TV right now, with incredibly high ratings, and more people watching it than I would have expected. And the reason I don't expect it so much is because it's such a intelligent and quirky show. It's the type of thing that usually people just don't get. You know, with jokes about Klingons and physics and things like that, it doesn't usually appeal to the mainstream masses, but somehow The Big Bang Theory has either tapped into the cultural zeitgeist at the moment, or there's just a lot of smart people out there who like geeky things who are enjoying some quality television. Either way, you should be watching this show because it's fantastic. Now, I'm going to get to the video quality and the picture sound quality in just a couple of minutes, but for the moment I can tell you that the extra features on the Blu-ray, well, they're about as good as usual. You don't get anything really extra for this being a high-definition release, but you do get Takeout with the cast of The Big Bang Theory, which is basically an interview over Chinese food with the cast, a set tour with Simon and Kunal, and a gag reel. So a little extra bang for your buck, even if it's nothing too out of the ordinary. Now, the next release that we have is Community, the complete first season, which is not on Blu-ray. This is just a DVD, and this is the new show starring Craig Kilborn and Chevy Chase, which has become somewhat successful in its first season on NBC and is actually coming back for a second season. And hey, for an NBC show, that's saying quite a bit these days. I like Community. It's not a slam dunk show, but I feel like it has a lot of potential. The characters are quirky, but not too quirky. It doesn't delve into that Arrested Development arena just yet. And Craig Kilborn is actually quite charming in the lead role, even though he's playing sort of a jackass. He's kind of that charming jackass. I guess you would call him a rogue, if you will, although in this case the rogue is a lawyer who is facing disbarment if he doesn't go to community college and get the rest of his credits. The show is pretty funny. It's got a lot of laughs in it. Like I said, it's not perfect, but you will enjoy watching it, I think, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the second season has to offer. Now, this set comes with over 90 minutes of extra features, which includes extended episodes, outtakes, never-before-seen footage, and cast and crew commentary on every single episode. So if you like this show, a lot of bang for your buck here. Next up, we return to Blu-ray with The League, the complete Season 1, which is a show about a bunch of guys who are in a fantasy football league. And it's basically ostensibly a general sitcom about love and marriage and relationships, but it also mixes in the love of fantasy football and the competition that these guys have. I'd heard a lot of good things about the league before it started, so I was looking forward to watching it, especially since I've played fantasy football a number of times, and I've been a champion a number of times, so I can relate to some of the characters, and I've also lost several times, so I can relate to other characters. But I gotta say, the show did not do it for me. It's an FX comedy series, and I have a feeling it's trying hard to be like some of the other FX shows out there. Edgy and over the top, but it really just resulted in being largely unfunny and uncomfortable. There are a few funny scenes in the show. I can't say that it didn't really make me laugh at all, but it didn't make me laugh very much, which is bad for a sitcom. Now, the complete Season 1 is on Blu-ray. It only includes 6 episodes. Obviously, this is a limited-run show, but it is coming back for a second season. Now, extra features include bloopers, deleted scenes, a featurette called Alt Nation, some wine infomercials, which will make sense once you see them. Another sort of feature I can't really say, as this is a family website, and a few other features that I can't. Let's just say there's a number of little short extra features on here that are all slightly more than PG-13 rated, so I'll let you look at the DVD case for yourself and figure out what they are. If you're into fantasy football and you're into, say, Judd Apatow films, this show really tries to meld the two of them, and so I think there's a lot of people out there who will like it. I am just not one of them. Now, that being said, The League makes the next show I'm about to review look like Shakespeare by comparison, although to be fair, I don't really like Shakespeare either, and that is It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the complete Season 5. Now, I've never really been a big fan of the show, but I've never really watched a whole lot of it, so I thought, all right, I've got Blu-ray, I'm going to jump right into it head first, and I'm going to really delve into getting to know these characters and getting to know the show. And what I found is I don't like any of these characters, and I don't like this show at all. It's a bunch of reprehensible, unlikable, immoral people doing reprehensible, unlikable, and immoral things. They are mostly jerks, they're self-centered, and they're not even fun or likable self-centered jerks. Not like Craig Kilborn in Community. They're just jerks. They're people that you want to smack right through the television. I can't say the show made me laugh even once, and I can't say I enjoyed watching it even for a second. Now, that being said, I know it's very popular, so a lot of people out there like this show, and will be happy to have it on Blu-ray, but for me personally, this show is the epitome of everything that's wrong with comedies ever since the Judd Apatow movies came on the scene. And they're not to blame for everything, but I feel like that constant need to gross out and be improper, be un-PC, really goes back to South Park and a million other things. Actually, can't blame Judd Apatow for it. But that constant need to just go over the top consistently just doesn't make for enjoyable television, in my particular opinion. Now, I said I would get to the audiovisual quality. Oh, I'm sorry, there are extra features on It's Always Sunny. It's a 2-disc set containing all 12 Season 5 episodes, and your extra features include audio commentaries on some episodes, the gang's dating profiles, a Kitten Mittens endless loop, and 23,793 photos in 5 minutes, a Dream Sequences montage. On top of that, you also get deleted and extended scenes and a blooper reel. Now, the reason I saved all the audio-visual comments for the end of the review is because even though there's 3 different releases on Blu-ray this time around, they're all largely the same. They're all sitcoms on broadcast television. So what you get on Blu-ray is kind of that standard sitcom-y upgrade. Picture quality looks great, pretty sharp imagery, occasional softness here and there, but that's really, I think, a function of how the shows are shot, not necessarily the transfers being weak. Colors are really bright, which is nice, and everything looks a little bit cleaner and crisper than it does on your television, even on the high-def channels. In terms of surround sound, pretty typical. These shows are dialogue-driven, they have music in the background, and that's mostly what you get. They're largely front-centered affairs. Every once in a while, something kind of bleeds through into the back, but there's not really a lot of surround sound that you can be expected to find in Sheldon and Leonard's apartment, for example. So, again, they're worth having on Blu-ray. If you're a Blu-ray fan and you're going to buy the series anyway, I always say pull out the extra bucks and pick it up on Blu-ray because it looks better, the menus are better, it sounds better. But be aware that if you do buy it on DVD, you're not missing out on too much in regards to any of these shows. So, definitely check out The Big Bang Theory, check out Community. As far as I'm concerned, you can skip The League, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.